Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and thank you for joining us today, Mr. Guevara. In September, the Minister of Industry did make a great deal about the meeting that he had with all of the CEOs to discuss food prices, and, pretty strong commitment from the Liberal government. I guess straight up question to you, sir, did that meeting lead to lower prices in your grocery stores?
Thank you again for the question. And as I've been saying in March and for the last half hour here, at Walmart, we work to lower the prices. That's the way that we go to market. So when we came to Ottawa and had those conversations and those interactions, we committed to continue to work on lowering the prices and running the different programs that we have, which many of which I mentioned, right? So doubling down on.
But Mr. Guevara, to interrupt, but with respect, I want to know: did that meeting actually result in lower prices in your grocery stores? Like the actions following from that meeting in September to where we are now today in December?
Well, yes, I was going to say that we were able to launch several programs which resulted in lower prices, and as I said, we were able to offer a Thanksgiving meal at lower prices than last year. So those are all parts of the way that we go to market so that we can continue to deliver a value proposition for our customers that's based and anchored in low prices.
Mr. Guevara, we live in a country today where approximately 7 million Canadians, a record number, are having to access food banks due to high grocery prices. I imagine with a company as large as yours that executive compensation is quite generous, probably for a person in your position. But I think it's fair for us as a committee to ask on the subject of high grocery prices. I know that in my community of Cowichan, Malahat, Langford, a lot of the people who are having to access help are in fact people who have full-time jobs. So they are still, even after working 40 hours a week, unable to go out and afford to feed their families. And so I wanted to know, with respect to the employees that Wal-Mart Canada has, especially for your entry-level folks. I mean, we have data now showing that an average family of four is expected to spend more than $16,000 on food next year. That's a $700 increase. Can you say with certainty, sir, that are any of your employees having to access food banks while they're working at Wal-Mart Canada?
Well, at Wal-Mart Canada, our more than 100,000 associates is the most important, thing that we have. We are a company that we are very proud to say that we have very strong values and we care about our associates. And this year we were able to launch several programs so that we could help our associates live better, because as you very well know, our purpose is to help people save money and live better, and that includes our associates. So we were able to launch health programs
sorry, with respect, Mr. Guevara, that wasn't the question. I wanted to know, because, as the point person for Walmart in Canada, and given the difference that we have between executive pay and employee pay in Canada, which is very well documented, can you say for certainty that no Walmart Canada full-time employee is accessing a food bank in Canada?
Well, we have, as I said, more than 100,000 associates across all of Canada, and I couldn't say whether any of them would have to, but I am confident that we have the right conditions for our associates to invest their time and energy with us to grow and develop themselves and grow a career with Walmart. That's what we have done, again, for 30 years in Canada.
But with respect, sir, what is your opinion on whether, if you did have an employee who's working at your store 40 hours a week, and if they're working in the grocery department and they still can't afford to feed their family on a full-time wage with Wal-Mart Canada, what does that say to you? What's your opinion of that?
Well, that would be something that we would like to address immediately. But as I said, I don't have the knowledge of that situation.
you don't have the knowledge of that situation. Do you not get feedback from your employees?
Yes, 100%. It's just that I didn't get that type of feedback.
And my colleagues have been talking about how your company is considering backing out of the grocery code of conduct. You've given your reasons in the answers to them. But a lot of the people on the other side of the equation, the suppliers, the primary food producers, have long complained of arbitrary fees and just a complete unfairness given that the grocery retail sector is so concentrated. Why does it seem that you're trying to avoid accountability and transparency in these discussions?
Accountability and transparency is what we stand for, and that's how we have been conducting business with our supplier partners for 30 years in Canada and more than that across the world. So the only thing I said related to the code is that there's still provisions that we still have doubts that are going to conduct and provide the environment for all of us to have the right businesses so that we can offer the lowest prices possible to Canadians.
Thank you very much, Mr. McGregor.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Gabera, I need to revisit this issue because I think given the fact that you appeared before our committee in March, you should have had some anticipation that similar questions would come your way. And in March, I did very clearly ask about the salaries, the wages that you pay your frontline employees. And, just given the fact that we do operate in the context, I mean, Ms. Taylor-Roy used the term robust. Robust is certainly an interesting way of describing executive compensation and pay. But I'm just, with respect, sir, I'm a little bit perturbed that you as the CEO of Wal-Mart Canada, given the fact that we are talking about food price inflation, where we know the stats of so many working people can't afford to even provide the basic necessities for their family, I am a little perturbed that you as the CEO of Wal-Mart Canada, I've seen your website, we have seen the documents you've provided this committee, you've certainly made a great show that you care about your employees, but the fact that you as a CEO are unaware of whether your employees are having to access the food bank to pull themselves through, I think that would be a bit disconcerting to the Wal-Mart Canada employees who are watching this right now. So again, if we're to take you and other CEOs seriously on this very, very important subject to Canadians, how can we do so when you don't even appear to understand how many of your employees are having to access a food bank or whether they're being compensated appropriately? I mean, if they are being kept in a state of being the working poor, does that not concern you, sir, that you don't actually have an accurate number on that?
Well, first of all, I think we have a very good understanding of what's going on with our associates. We measure that. We have, as you know, as I mentioned before, an open door policy where everyone can bring their concerns to anyone in the company. And we have a very, very clear understanding of our associates' engagement, our associates' morale, and of our associates' concerns. Where I answered that I didn't know, it's because it wasn't brought to my attention the fact that we could have associates in the situation that you just described.
Thank you to you both. We'll go to Ms. Rood for 5 minutes.